Chinelo, you are still carrying baskets on your head like a village woman. Don't you ever get tired of being poor? Chidinma, is it my fault that I married a poor man? Must you always rub it in my face? Once upon a time, in a small village called Umifi, there was identical twin sisters named Chidinma and Chinelo. They looked so much alike that even their parents sometimes got confused when they were little. However, as they grew older, their lives took different paths. Chidinma, the older twin by a few minutes, married a very wealthy man named Utunta. Utunta owned many farmlands, houses, and a large businesses in the city. Chidinma lived in a big house with servants and drivers. She dressed in fine clothes and always wore gold jewelry that sparkled like the sun. Whenever she visited her parents, she came in a car so big that it made everyone in the village stare. On the other hand, Chinelo married a poor farmer named Ebuka. Ebuka worked hard, but his farm was small, and they barely had enough to eat. Chinelo lived in a small mud house with a leaky roof. She wore simple clothes and walked to visit her parents because they couldn't afford a bicycle, let alone a car. Their parents openly preferred Chidinma because of her wealth. Every time Chidinma visited, they welcomed her with smiles, delicious food, and kind words. Our big madam, you are the pride of this family, her mother would say, clapping her hands with joy. See how your husband has blessed you. When Chinelo came, however, her parents barely paid attention. You are here again, Chinelo, her mother would say, her tone flat. Did you bring anything for us? Chinelo's heart was ache. She wished her parents could love her the same way they loved Chidinma, but instead, they consistently reminded her of her poverty. One fateful day, both sisters decided to visit their parents at the same time. Chidinma arrived first in her shiny black car. Her servants carried bags of rice, yams, and cartons of drinks into the house. Her mother and father danced around. Their parents openly preferred Chidinma because of her wealth. Every time Chidinma visited, they welcomed her with smiles, delicious food, and kind words. Chidinma, you are the best daughter in the world, her father said, patting her on the back. Not long after, Chinelo walked in, carrying a small basket of vegetables from her farm. As she entered, Chidinma burst into laughter. Chinelo, you are still carrying baskets on your head like a village woman. Don't you ever get tired of being poor? Chidinma said mockingly. Chinelo's face turned red with anger. Chidinma, is it my fault that I married a poor man? Must you always rub it in my face? Chidinma smirked. If you had listened to Mama and married that rich trader who wanted you, maybe you wouldn't be suffering now. But no, you choose Ebuka, the farmer with nothing. You are not serious, Seth. At least I married a man who loves me. You may have money, Chidinma, but can your husband even spend time with you? Or is he always too busy counting his money? Rubbish girl. The room grew tense. Her mother tried to calm them, but the sisters kept exchanging bitter words until Chinelo stormed out, leaving her basket of vegetables behind. The tension between the sisters did not end there. A week later, there was a women's meeting in the village square. All the women gathered under the big Iroko tree to discuss community matters. Both Chidinma and Chinelo attended. During the meeting, Chidinma stood up to speak. She wore an expensive lace dress and gold earrings that glittered in the sunlight. Our village needs a proper borehole. I will donate money to make it happen because I can afford it, Chidinma said in a loud voice. The women clapped and praised her generosity. Then Chinelo raised her hand. I agree that we need a borehole, But what about helping widows and poor women in the village? We should also focus on that, she said. Chidinma turned to her sister with a fake smile. Oh, Chinelo, always have ideas, but where is your money to support them? Talking is cheap, you know. Chinelo stood up, her voice shaking with anger. Just because you have money doesn't mean you can look down on everyone else. Chidinma, respect is not bought with words, so get that into your score. The women watched as the sisters argued loudly, their voices echoing across the square. Some women tried to separate them, but the twins refused to stop until the meeting ended in cheers. One market day, Chidinma and Chinelo met again. Chidinma was buying crate of fish for her household, while Chinelo was bargaining for a small basket of tomatoes. As soon as they saw each other, the quarrel started again. Chidinma, do you ever get tired of showing off? Chinelo asked, her hands on her hips. Chidinma laughed. And do you ever get tired of being jealous? You should thank me for still talking to you despite your poverty. Chinelo couldn't take it anymore. She grabbed a handful of tomatoes and threw them at Chidinma. Chidinma, furious, picked up a bag of fish and flung it back. The market erupted in cheers as people tried to separate the fighting twins. You are a rich sister, Chinelo shouted, and you are a bitter one, Chidinma yelled back. The market women eventually dragged them apart, shaking their heads in disappointment. Constant quarreling eventually reached their parents, who called both sisters for a meeting. This fighting must stop, their father said. You are twins. You should love and support each other, not tear each other apart. But neither sister listened. It wasn't until something tragic happened that their hearts began to change. One rainy season, Chinelo's husband, Ebuka, fell seriously ill. He couldn't work on the farm, and Chinelo had no money to take him to the hospital. Chinelo informed her mother. Their mother asked Chidinma to come and help her sister out, and Chidinma replied, I will take Ebuka to the hospital. I will pay all the expenses, but only if Chinelo apologizes for all the things she said about me. Chinelo was furious. I would rather sell everything I own than beg you for help, she shouted. The argument worsened until their mother intervened. Enough, she cried. If Ebuka, because of you people's pride, his blood will be on your head. Desperate, Chinelo swallowed her pride and went to Chidinma for help. Please, Chidinma, I know we have had our differences, but I need your help. Ebuka is very sick. Chidinma looked at her sister's tears, struck face, and felt a pang of guilty. For the first time, she realized how much she had hurt Chinelo over the years. Without hesitation, Chidinma gave her sister money for the hospital. She even sent her driver to take Ebuka to the city for better treatment. Thankfully, Ebuka recovered, and Chinelo was filled with gratitude. I am sorry for all the hurtful things I have said, Chidinma. You have shown me that family comes first, Chinelo said, holding her sister's hand. And I'm sorry for looking down on you. We are twins, and nothing should ever come between us again, Chidinma replied. The moral lesson: from that day, the twins stopped their quarrels. They learned to support each other despite their differences. Chidinma shared her wealth generously with Chinelo, and Chinelo in return taught Chidinma the value of humanity. The story of Chidinma and Chinelo reminds us that family is more important than wealth or status. Unity and love are what truly make a family strong. The end. Thank you guys for watching my story, and please come back for more interesting stories. I love you.